Our last competitor to come up and make the pitch, I'd like to invite up QuantumSense.
Thank you so much.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for having us. I would like to point out, look please at this beautiful panorama. Half of my team is from Switzerland, so half is Swiss, half is from the French Alps, and the other half is here from Canada. So this has some great memories for me in skiing and hiking in the Swiss and Canadian mountains. We're an AI company that is providing a semantic search, like a sixth sense for your insurances. What are the three major problems that you are facing in insurance? On the one hand, for processing in claims, it's very time-consuming. As has been pointed out in the first presentation, this can take anywhere from 1 to 2, 3 weeks till you get the decision and the payout on your claim. Moreover, it's very error-prone. About 1 in every 10 claims is still being processed incorrectly, causing problems for the insurance, of course, as well as for the consumer on the other end. And moreover, where the biggest money is dropping is on the fraud side. In both the US and Canada, this is anywhere between 5 and 20% of fraud occurring. Here, the numbers referring in the medical insurance space. We have a solution that works because it's the top notch in terms of accuracy. This works for any claim that is text-based, not just medical insurance. Here for InsurTech North and for exemplary purposes, and because it's our main area, our main focus area, we go for medical insurance. What we've provided is a website or a chatbot interface where the client can upload his insurance claim, a bit like you've seen in applications beforehand. It then takes in our automatic claims processing system, which I will show you in more detail right away. Of course, it looks at the customer insurance policy for every individual, double-checking whether it's covered or not, and takes in the provider information to then immediately give back the decision to the customer. It's an AI-powered semantic association that's really the top notch out there in terms of accuracy. This is where our strength is. It's currently at an accuracy of about 75 to 85%, and we're working on getting it to an almost human-like level. The way this gives you the benefits is that it empowers your workforce, of course. The medical doctors or the insurance agents can be redeployed, do not need to be in the process anymore, as our solution allows you to make an automatic real-time decision. So, for instance, for the verification process, that usually takes about 30 to 60 minutes. This can take it down to about a minute. So providing real-time answers, a real-time decision on your claim. It's much higher quality. It's a consistent system at a higher quality. This can save on an average insurance in the range of about $10 million that is being lost on errors. And it's a better service for the client. It's a 24/7 service availability. And not only does it help you to automate the process, but it actually gives you even better insights on what prognosis the patient could have. The way this works, I'll show you on the next slide, we train it on the database of claims that you have processed in the last 10 years. And from this, you can actually provide a lot of insight where the patient's the treatment or his medical history, where his medical disease can actually go, and provide him much better insights and solutions to help him better. And this, of course, also helps you to reduce costs. On the one hand, in terms of the fraud, as this higher consistency actually helps you to reduce the fraud, but of course also in the error correction. We envision about $100 million for an average insurance that could be saved in terms of fraud and in terms of errors, which then in return can be passed on to the insured customer, because this can be savings in premiums that, for instance, back home in Switzerland, are reaching a really pain point where now they're discussing to cap it at 10% of the salary. Because for lower income or middle class citizens, it's really coming to a point that is a pain point, and we need solutions to be able to keep it stable or reduce the premiums. The way it works is we provide a first semantic matching that works on the sentence level. So you can actually compare two sentences, how close in meaning they are. So when a new claim comes in, we train our algorithm on an insurance's database of previously processed claims where a medical doctor went through. He checked, or an insurance agent, He checked whether it's approved by the policy, whether it's not fraud, whether it's covered, whether it's the standard treatments and the standard symptoms that are being covered or not. We run this through our DISCO analysis, the first that is both distributional and compositional, allowing our high accuracy and working on the sentence level. And we decide for each new incoming claim, we look at which are semantically similar. It's the first solution that allows you to take in any text-based claim. Doesn't need to be a standardized form, any text-based claim, and compare it to all the past claims which are the closest in meaning, which have the same meaning, not the same keywords as Google does, actually in meaning as a human or a doctor that has been trained for 40 years can actually compare. And we look at if 95% of them were approved in the past, we automatically approve it within a minute. If it's the opposite, if it was not approved, we disapprove it. An automatic evaluation. And this is a huge market. The claims processing alone in the US, just in health, is, for instance, a 210 billion claims administrative costs market, of which the largest part are wages for the doctors involved or the insurance agents involved. There's about 10 billion that is being estimated by the American Medical Association of possible savings from higher accuracy, and about the market of $230 billion in fraud. What we've achieved so far is we have a first solution on the cloud. We've benchmarked all the clouds. We've chosen the fastest one, in this case AWS for our purposes. We have a first client that has been paying us for 6 months. It works at scale. And we want to now optimize it for the insurance use case and to have an actual enterprise solution in the market with. So far, we've achieved a proof of concept with our data science partner company, with a national leader in Switzerland, where we've proven that we can not only reach this high accuracy and high coverage, prevent errors, but actually also found a lot of fraud that has not been covered by medical doctors. But we go further than that. So we're really an AI power company which is going on QML. We're ready for quantum computing. We're quantum ready, and the way that works is that's what I've been doing in my thesis at Oxford. We have a quantum linguistics framework that can actually take the accuracy even higher. There you can take in a lot more on the dependencies of the grammar. This is NLP, as you've seen before. Can take in a lot more of the grammar and the semantic structure of the language with a lot less bits, or qubits in this case, helping you to get to a level of accuracy that is almost on a human-like level, or even a doctor who's been trained for so many years like level. It would also be much faster, and of course you would have the usual benefits of quantum cryptography, higher data security for your data. And where we've built this is, of course, at Oxford, but we then expanded it now at UT. We're a company based in Canada, in Toronto and Montreal. And now at the Rotman School as part of the CDL program, where we incubated as the first one of the top graduates from all sites in the QML track. So that's quantum machine learning, doing the machine learning on the quantum computer. As you may know, Canada has one of the first quantum computers, the D-Wave in Vancouver. And our first clients that we have is, on the one hand, Equality. On the other hand, MapFree, you may well know from Spain, who is one of the largest insurance providers. eTech, as well as the proof of concept with Helsana. Our investors are from the Silicon Valley, S28, Bloomberg Beta, and the Data Collective. And now, after having successfully graduated from the Creative Destruction Lab, we're both in the YC Startup School, as well as in the Holt FinTech Accelerator in Montreal, which is one of the most selective processes to get in. And our management team consists of me, the CEO. I've done my thesis at Oxford, worked in insurance before, been part of 2 unicorns, and my CFO, Sean Kennedy, he was at TD for 5 years, trained at Toronto at UT, as well as Rotman School of Management in the MBA, and he's a certified accountant. As well as my CTO, who's also Swiss. He's done his PhD at the Politecnico Milano and has been building a lot of apps where his main strength is really on scale. Our technology works at scale. We're ready to scale and to meet the demand we have from the insurances. And yeah, together we're providing you this sixth sense for your data and for your insurance claims processes. Thank you so much.
Okay, judges, who's going to jump in first?
Sure.
What's the revenue model?
Currently, we're selling B2B as a SaaS, as you've seen, as a software as a service agreement. We have a first client that has been paying us a fixed amount a month, but for the insurances, for the future insurances, we make it usage-based. So depending, charge based on every claim, volume-based.
Marco, given
Yeah.
your focus,
Yeah.
and why haven't you delved deeper into the fraud space? You know, given the addressable market, opportunity, big pain point in the industry.
Correct.
And particularly as it relates to unstructured claim notes.
Exactly.
You know, there's a huge opportunity there.
Yeah, great point. You have to see we're a bit earlier stage, maybe. We're coming from the incubator from last year. We got the solution ready, and we've got the proof of concept done very successfully. We're getting to the stage where we can really narrow in on the fraud, because it's, like you point out, if you've seen the numbers just now, in the fraud is actually the biggest sector, I would say, where we can help you the most, besides maybe the workforce as well. But there, of course, you want to keep the staff as an additional input, and to redeploy them to help you with prognosis. So we're narrowing down on that, and that's really the goal that we want to go after for sure.
So your claims experience is like similar to Lemonade, where you could basically put a claim out, it verifies coverage and makes a payment immediately. Do you have the payment part down pat too?
By Lemonade, I didn't quite understand.
The company
the
Lemonade,
yeah?
it's an InsurTech company out of the U.S.
Yeah.
They were one of the first
Gotcha.
people to do that in the U.S. market.
Right.
You can actually verify coverage and then make the claim payment and put it right to the client and that's
Yeah,
what we're doing.
it's really an automation of the verification phase of the process. And in addition, we would provide what we're building currently is a nice interface, kind of like you might know from Domino's, where at every stage you can see at what stage your claim is at, and you have it in real time submitted, and much faster, of course, than it's currently being handled with manual data extraction.
Have you thought of taking that policy, comparing and checking options now that you've got that built and going lateral with it? There seems to be companies getting into that space and demand for that, for automatically checking renewals, et cetera. Is that something you've thought of? Or?
Yes, that's another. Like you pointed out before, our market can be pretty much any data that any processing of reports or data, especially unstructured data, as you pointed out. And as you may know, Google is saying that currently only about 1% of unstructured data is being captured, even though 80% of the data in the world is unstructured data. So of course this would be another department for sure.
Marco, I think there's great technology and great knowledge in your company, but I'm worried or wondering, are you too spread out between all those countries, all those accelerators, all those programs, all those potential lines of businesses, and the quantum thing, for me at least, looks a bit far away.
Right.
So I'm just wondering about the execution risk that your company might have here.
Yeah, we're currently Canada-based. Both the incubator and the accelerator are here, right, in Toronto and Montreal, where we have the 2 offices currently. So we try to focus here, and then for the future on the US market. The quantum part, the solution we have currently in the market is classical. So the product we have for our first client is all on classical computing on the cloud. So it's scalable, but all using resources that are out there already. So it all works. We envision about 2 more years till quantum computers are ready. Our strategy is that we would, for existing customers, we would seamlessly in the back end switch it, and for new customers, we would then move to quantum computers. But it's not any necessity, right? Our product is out there, it works. That's just a future benefit that we can really make sure that we're future ready and on top of the competition. This thesis I've done, I was the co-developer, and it's really Oxford that originated this. It's a small group that has this knowledge, so it's quite up to us, and I would say we're quite ahead of the competition still.
So let me ask you sort of a different question, right?
Yeah,
It's how does an incumbent insurance company engage with someone like you, right? So that's
them.
one.
How to-
And what really is your sort of sales strategy? Who do you sell to? Like, how does that work?
Yeah, so far we reached out directly. I have some good connections because I used to work in insurance space as well, directly to insurances. But like you're saying, it's not that easy because we're a bit more on tech side, on the maybe research institute side. So some advice I got directly from CEOs in insurances or head of data sciences are that we can also go through the consulting channel, being a bit the research institute behind. Or if we want to try to overcome, maybe also as you've spoken to other of the Wolfpack here, another option that we're looking into and that we have established is trying to partner with digital insurances as well, where it's a bit easier to roll out the process much faster for us. If you have, thank you so much.
All right.
Cheers. Thank you.